in shaping patterns of future warfare. There is little doubt that militaries across the world will be seeking to absorb the key lessons of the Russia-Ukraine war, ranging from the employment of tanks to the use of anti-ship cruise missiles and the ubiquitous drones. For the Chinese military, these lessons might even assume a greater importance. Chinese media coverage of the war in Ukraine has been extensive. The close nature of the China-Russia quasi-alliance means that Chinese military analysts have not engaged in the ruthless critiques of Russian military performance that have been commonplace in the West. Yet, Chinese military analyses are still probing deeply for lessons to understand the shape of modern warfare. They have taken particular interest in the US employment of novel weapons and strategies. To fully grasp the scope and depth of these Chinese analyses, it is important to take assessments from a full range of Chinese military media, which is more extensive than is often appreciated in the West. The Ukrainian military's employment of the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, or HIMARS, a US-built medium-range mobile rocket launcher, has proven to be highly significant in its fight against Russia. HIMARS Reichs have delivered devastating blows against key nodes behind the front lines in the Russian defense system and thus enabled some impressive Ukrainian successes. Asia-Pacific defense analysts were familiar with the HIMARS system for many years prior to the Ukraine conflict. US strategists have long hypothesized that the weapon could play a major role in any possible war with China. Indeed, the US Army and also the Marine Corps have been exploring ways in which they might leverage similar long-range systems dispersed across islands in the Western Pacific in such a conflict. Chinese strategists have also been studying such land-based, medium-range rocket systems and have developed their own comparable variants. Yet watching the war unfold in Ukraine, they have also intensified their research into how to defeat the innovative US weapon system. Chinese analysts express admiration for the HIMARS system. The HIMARS imported from the US frequently attacked ammunition depots, logistics centers, and command posts in the Russian rear, and have had a definite impact on the battlefield situation. Chinese thinking on the future of combat places a great emphasis on non-contact warfare, which employs the use of long-range fires from the periphery of the combat zone. Likewise, this discussion of HIMARS said, the future of warfare is expanding in the domains of information and intelligence. Conventional standard munitions can no longer meet the needs of warfare. The analysis emphasized the advantages of this advanced US rocket system in terms of mobility and survivability on the battlefield. The HIMARS rely on high-speed mobility to carry out strikes and then stay protected through concealment on the battlefield. Perhaps with echoes of the military thinking of Mao Zedong, the authors noted that HIMARS has the characteristics of being highly efficient for conventional combat as well as guerrilla warfare. Western strategists hope that HIMARS might help Taiwan deter the threat of a PLA invasion. Chinese strategists, however, do not see HIMARS as an invincible trump card and are contemplating various methods to counter the US system. Chinese analysts believe that the US mobile rocket system can be countered through both offensive and defensive measures. These authors argued, to destroy HIMARS, active attacks are one method. Air supremacy is to be promptly established, and based on the strategy of active attack, we will strike them with multiple rounds of firepower. The emphasis on establishing air supremacy is a key insight taken from observations of Russian combat deficiencies in Ukraine. Chinese strategists seem reasonably confident in China's ability to establish air supremacy over and around Taiwan in the event of a conflict. During the unprecedented show of force that China has put on around Taiwan in retaliation for United States House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to the self-governing island, Beijing has tested a new weapon in their arsenal. A long-range multiple-launch rocket system MLRS, which has been compared to the US high-mobility artillery rocket system HIMARS. The new MLRS was first revealed to the public during China's National Day Parade in October 2019. Beijing reportedly tested the new weapon for the first time in mid-July, according to China's state-owned broadcaster CCTV, which said the MLRS fired rockets in a high-altitude zone. The weapon was reportedly used again during the military drills around Taiwan these past few days. Military experts at Military Watch magazine argue that China's new MLRS is among the heaviest in the world, with a range rivaled only by its North Korean counterpart, the NOTS 25. Capable of firing both rockets and ballistic missiles. The new hardware, named the type PCL-191. Part of China's Weishi series, has a platform that can carry up to 8 370mm rockets capable of reaching 217 miles. A significant extension of Beijing's previous firing range and, according to experts, an improvement of its precision strike capabilities. It can also be used as a launcher for two 750mm Fire Dragon 480 tactical ballistic missiles with 310-mile ranges. The US HIMARS, on the other hand, can carry 6 GPS-guided missiles, which can be fired at targets over 185 miles away. The Chinese Weishi could be roughly compared to M142 HIMARS. However, the Chinese Weishi family appears to be quite versatile. For example, the WS-2C and the 2D have a range of 220 miles and 250 miles respectively. The latter can launch UAVs, too. The UAVs have an anti-radar function, which is useful for countering adversaries' air defenses. The rockets can have a variety of different warheads ranging from anti-personnel to armor-piercing dual-purposes. It seems China does not face the same legal constraints as the US. Compared to MLRS launchers, HIMARS have a key, well-known difference, as Miriam mentioned. Missiles can be reloaded in about a minute with a small team consisting of only a driver, gunner and launcher section chief, allowing troops to quickly relocate after firing. Despite the apparent similarities, the Chinese system that has been mentioned in the news is allegedly the WS-2D MLRS, which is argued to be the most advanced. Certainly, in terms of its range, it would exceed that of M142. For China's purpose, WS-2D with its 400 km range is much more useful than a HIMARS system would be.